Hey guys, this is BLU once again. So the last solo queue video went really well, so this is now going to be a regular thing. This is episode 2, so welcome guys. The build's pretty much the exact same thing as last time. I am going to look into doing some more warrior builds over the next week or so. Third video should be uploaded sometime early next week. I already have the game that I want to do it on, so look forward to that coming up pretty soon as well. But the only changes to the build from the previous game is the fact that I'm actually running with Endure Pain instead of Berserker stance. So again, that's going to allow me to pop Frenzy and Endure Pain at the same time and have basically zero consequences for popping it. But anyway, we're on the same map here as well, so pretty similar landscape as the last game. This game I actually did quite a few things wrong, which is kind of why I picked this one. Overall, we still ended up winning the game, but I'm going to be pointing out a couple things that I actually did wrong over the course of this one. So right off the bat, I want to actually point out something that my teammate did that, while it's not wrong, is a very risky thing to do, especially in a solo queue perspective, is the fact that my Elementalist teammate rushed far. And now, granted, that's not the worst thing in the world. You can definitely do that. It's definitely a good thing. However, it's a very risky thing, as right off the bat, it is going to leave us with a maximum of only 3 people at mid, as someone still has to stay home to capture home, unless we're going to bail home, which no one's going to do that. And it's going to leave us very weak in that fight. And if that player loses far, he's taking a big gamut that he's going to lose, and as you can see, he took that gamut and lost it. And as well, with us being weaker in middle, there is the chance that they're almost instantly going to win that mid fight. Now, thankfully, things over here at mid do go pretty well, and we are able to take it off the bat, but our opponent lost that far fight, so again, took a risk for basically something that was completely unnecessary. You will note too, he actually switched over to the boss and lost that as well. So while, again, it's not a bad thing to do, it's just something you got to be really careful of doing, especially in a solo queue, just because there's a lot more limited forms of communication comparatively to team queue. But things do go pretty well, so we're able to take that point, and thankfully nobody went for our home note, so we will open up with the 2 cap here, even though our opponents have that bit of a 25 point boost because they killed boss. Ignore what I just did there, kind of running into the wall. I think I was typing a message in a Twitch chat or something at the time, so had to auto run that real quick. But now what we have coming up here is actually something pretty interesting, is the fact that we have a big team fight that happens over here at the boss, and that does not happen all too often. But something to keep in mind for these big team fights is you want to make sure you're not only paying attention to your opponent's health pool, but the boss's health pool as well. And in general, your priority target should not be to zerg down the boss as quickly as possible. Just, again, this is my own opinion. Your priority should really be to try and knock out teammates before the boss is killed. Now, as you saw right there, I was tab targeting between all 3 of those guys throughout the entirety of that fight, just making sure I kept an eye on the boss's health, and that when it did finally get low enough, I went for that 100 blade strike to try and knock him out. And thankfully, not only did I get the kill in it, but I also took down an opponent as well. But in a perfect world, you definitely want to try to prioritize knocking out opponents before you take down that boss. This is going to guarantee, obviously, that they won't be able to steal the boss away from you, and it will have wasted all of their time completely. So again, did pretty well there, was able to take that. I did actually kind of screw up there a little bit of a mechanical thing where I actually tried to chase that Elementalist that I got a nice kill shot off of, but had the wrong target because I was so rapidly tab targeting throughout that fight and ended up completely screwing over the kill, and as such that LA got away. And now here I'm going to head over to far, and in all honesty, this is debatably the first mistake I made here in this game, is the fact that I went far, and over the course of the next few seconds you'll see that I will get it, but it might have costed my teammates the mid fight, and possibly a decap over at home as well. Now why is that? You can see here on the minimap right now that things are not going well at all. We had our teammates kind of going in almost separately there to the mid fight, and that's never a good thing. But obviously if I had bid with them, I probably would have made a +1 a couple of them, and might have made quite a potential difference to that mid fight if I had been there. Again, it was much more of a what if thing, but overall it probably would have been better to me to go and assist mid. Might we have lost it? Very possibly, but it still would have been good to have me there. Now, thankfully though, I did end up taking the risk by going far, and it worked out, but still was kind of a douche move for me to leave my teammates hanging there. Now granted, again, if you know you're confident in your 1v1 ability and you know you're going to be able to take far regardless, granted you have to kind of know who's there or who's going to be in the general vicinity of it, then that's fine. You can rush far, and as long as you know you're going to get it, you're going to get it. But kind of the same point with the Elementalist rushing far at the start of the game is if I lose it, not only have I screwed over my teammates at mid, I've also screwed over myself by not getting the point, and it's really going to put your team behind really fast, especially once again because of that limited communication field. So while I have a second here that I'm just kind of AFKing, and thankfully again, just to note too on the minimap, my teammates are actually doing a pretty good job of getting back home. At one point this game does actually dip down to a 4v5. So it makes things rather easy for us at that point. I just wanted to note that very quickly, is that that is a pretty potential thing in terms of the outcome of this game. I think we had actually lost a player for a couple seconds as well, as our UI kind of bugs out at one point during this game. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that really quick. Going back into things now, we do have this 2v1. Now, right here, I'm actually going to die, and Granted, I probably could have left this if I had more warning that this Elementalist was coming. If I knew he was coming, I could have bailed out and maybe gone to assist another point. But in the hindsight of things here, when he's already on you, when he's already putting chills and more CCs on you, there's not much you're going to be able to do, and there's a very low chance you'll be able to get away, especially if you have another player on you, like I had that warrior on me. So it's better just to kind of sit there and have yourself be killed on point, and again, just increase the time it's going to take them to not only decap, but also take you out there by quite a few seconds. So overall, that was a good move to do there. Moving on from that, again, take the spawn, and I'll just wrap around home here really quickly. Not going to rush forward again, as I know that there's at least one enemy, if not two, hanging out over there. I see that there are some friendlies engaged over in mid, and it looks like we actually have the advantage over there in mid. So I'm just going to head up there real quick. I want to check it out too, just to see what the numbers are actually like. And thankfully, when I arrive, things are going very well. We've actually got a Guardian, a Bunker Guardian, just to note that too, is actually very low. So I waste no time popping pretty much everything I have here. I saw these guys coming up around the back, and this is part of the reason also why I kind of went crazy with cooldowns too, is the fact that this is a Bunker Guardian. This is a huge part of their team fight, even if it is a solo queue, and the fact that he's able to support his teammates through Condi Cleanse, assuming he's running a more normal Bunker Guardian build, that is. He's able to support his team through Condi Cleanse. He has a lot of stability to give out, and he's able to res up teammates pretty confidently as well as stomping us as well. So it was a pretty big deal for us to knock him out. And again, getting him out of play did give us the advantage here for quite a few seconds. But now you're going to see, actually, I kind of threw this team fight here. But essentially what I did is I had gotten, I believe it was that Mesmer there, to a pretty low health pool, but I lost sight on him. He's actually right there to my right now, but that's this side. I believe it was a warrior coming up, or warrior that came up there to the side. I kind of tried to go up against the wall so he couldn't hit me with any projectiles. I kind of just lost target on him for some reason and was not able to fully take him out. And in the process of all of that, that Elementalist that you saw vapor forming past me a couple seconds ago died, and as well another one of my teammates actually took a lot of damage in the process, kind of knocking him out of play. So my greedy move kind of made us throw our lead there in the team fight. Had I have gone for res, there's a pretty good chance that he would have gotten up and we would have remained at full strength and probably taken that team fight. Now, we don't outright lose it. They do end up getting a cap, but we still keep pressure on it. But overall, from my point of view, that team fight was kind of over, so I just bailed out and once again headed over to Farpoint. Thankfully, again, Farpoint was open for the taking, so there was little to no issue in actually getting the full cap there. But still, that move over at mid was pretty crucial, and it was actually, again, was a pretty big part of what caused us to lose that cap in the mid fight over there temporarily. Now again, I am going to have an Elementalist taking me on over at this point. In general, just kind of going over some matchup stuff here for a second. Versus the Ellie. The Ellie's got a lot of things. You're going to see swirling winds here in a couple seconds, I believe, that are going to annoy me and get in my way of me trying to kill him. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm literally going to bust everything I have right off the bat to try and kill him as quickly as possible and to give him literally no breathing room to pop anything that could reduce my effectiveness versus him. Now he gets so low, and again, you know, I make this is the second time I've made this mistake. I kind of got bloodlust. I wanted to take this guy out. I didn't want to waste any time, so I just dove directly onto him, even giving up my cap on the point here as well. Now, the reason I had done this was I didn't want a 2v1, and if that Elementalist had gotten away kind of scot-free, would have cleared combat, got up the full health pool, and then just come back to me. And if I hadn't killed the Mesmer at that point, I would have been dead meat regardless. So I was kind of back on being able to take this Elemental stuff. Yes, I would have given up the cap, but I would have been able to come back in and hopefully take out that Mesmer. And just in general, the Mesmer wouldn't have been able to stay on point versus me too much because he would have had a lot of kind of in melee range pressure on him. So if he was playing smart, he would have gotten off point and I would have been able to get a decap. But as you're seeing now, thankfully, to my own benefit, he actually leaves the point. So it ends up being a free cap. I really don't know where he went. He might have actually been the person that disconnects and causes this to become a 4v5, as it definitely did happen at some point around here. But thankfully, he went away from that, and I was able to get the cap back in my favor. If I had not done that, not only would I have had probably a pretty large difficulties taking out the Mesmer, just because me in general, I usually suck versus Mesmers, but overall, I don't honestly, just kind of looking at the time skills here, I don't think I would have killed him fast enough for this Elementalist, or rather, I don't think I would have killed him before this Elementalist got back on point, so I would have had to 1v2 anyway, so it was actually, you know, in hindsight, a really bad move. I just got really lucky, so just something to note there. But now going into things here, another smaller mistake that I did actually make here too is the fact that I decided to go for a stomp on that Elementalist there instead of just outright 100 bladesing him and going for Corpse Cleave. If I had done so, and as well kind of, there's another thing too, is the fact that I would have probably had to rely on a teammate coming to save me and finish off the Elementals, but had I gone for that burst, and assuming he didn't pop Vapor Form or anything, I probably would have had him at a much lower health pool. There's a pretty small chance, I don't believe I would have actually done significant enough damage that I would have been able to knock him out just via the downstate damage, but if a teammate had come over, there was a pretty good chance that he may have been able able to save me. But regardless, our team was doing really good while I was kind of screwing around there over at far point. They were able to hold undoubtedly our home point, as well as taking back the middle point, as you saw a few minutes ago there too. And they're kind of just swarming all over that territory at the moment, keeping the blue team at bay. So the only person that's going to be a threat coming over here to mine is going to be this Mesmer. And again, the Mesmer is kind of the same formula as the Elementals. In the fact, he's light armored, so he's going to take a lot of damage very quickly here, as you're going to see. I think, no, the kill shot misses actually, but the light armor still takes probably the most damage. Obviously, again, has the lowest armor value, so he's going to be weakest to physical here. And so I just go for DPS as fast as I can do it to give him absolutely no chances to get away from anything, just kind of busting everything right off the bat here in order to take him out. And granted, while I never kill him, I managed to defend the point long enough for us to win the game. So there you have it, guys. Again, just a note too, that did end up being a 5v4 in our favor part of the game, but still did have quite a few nice things in this game, so I just wanted to show it off for you guys. So that'll be the end of this one, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe if you did enjoy the video. I'll have a lot more of this stuff coming. I believe I'll be going over either an Eviscerate or Hambo solo queue game, probably Monday or Tuesday of next week is when I should have that one ready and uploaded for you guys. And that's about it. Just as a note for people who are subscribed to this channel for tournament VODs, those VODs are now being hosted over at the Misspedia channel and will continue to be hosted over there for quite some time. There should be a link on the screen now to direct you over to that. And that's about it, guys. So thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Be sure to like it and leave any comments if you have any feedback on the video. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. See you later.